Hello, everyone. Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're just gonna wait a couple of moments while folks start trickling in and joining us in the webinar today. Give folks some time to get into the room. But you can always, like I like to say, you can always enjoy our starting slide and get excited for today's chat. I know I'm excited. Alicia, are you excited?
I am, definitely I am.
Awesome. Well, awesome. So my name is Jenna Quinn, and it's my pleasure as the Assistant Director of Alumni and Affinity Engagement to welcome everyone here today to this edition of the 49er Industry Chats. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items, letting everyone here know that this chat is being recorded. So really what that means for you is that you're going to be able to view this again, send it to a friend or anyone else that you think might get something out of this. And it'll be available to you on our website at www.csulb.edu/alumni. And then also, since this is a webinar format, if you are joining us live today, we encourage you to submit any questions that you have for our speaker today using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. You don't need to wait until the end to submit your questions. Feel free to submit your questions throughout the chat, and we'll get that addressed when we do Q&A. Awesome. And so with that, I think I will just go ahead and read your bio, Alicia, if you're good with that. And
Yes, I am.
yeah, then I'll be able to turn it over to you. So Alicia graduated from CSULB in 1994 with a bachelor's in computer engineering. She worked in the field for several years. As an engineer, she helped develop and maintain software for the lending industry across the US. After learning everything about real estate industry from the software perspective, she started her career in real estate. As a realtor, she now has more than 20 years in the field, and she's helped her clients buy, sell, lease both residential and commercial units throughout Southern California. Her vast knowledge and experience and expertise has made her a leader in the industry, and she enjoys helping her clients achieve their financial goals through real estate. Thanks so much for joining us today, Alicia.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction. I really appreciate it. And let me start my journey with you guys. How was this? How did I become a realtor? Of first an engineer and then a realtor. You already explained it. But I want to talk a little bit about myself. And I went from becoming an engineer and working in the field, doing the software, understanding everything. I was doing quality assurance for the software that developed the lenders, was used by the lenders for the purchase of homes. And that's where I really learned everything about real estate from the lender's perspective. And that's when I decided to become a realtor. But let me just start sharing a little bit about myself, who I am, where I've been. And then if you have any questions later on, please feel free to answer them. These are my two daughters. I have two daughters. I'm very proud to say that my oldest one, the one in black, graduated from Cal State Long Beach with a major in art and a minor in computer science. And the youngest one, she's still in school. She will be graduating next May, also from Cal State Long Beach with a major in computer science. So very proud of them. Just wanted to share that. My educational background, like I said, went to Cal State Long Beach, received my Bachelor's of Science in Computer Engineering. As a realtor, I now have over 20 years full-time experience. And what have I done in terms of realtor? Where have I sold? I pretty much have sold in LA County, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino County, as well as Kern County, and particularly Bakersfield. So that's where a lot of realtors only concentrate in one city or one area. I am going to go out of the area if I have to, so that I can meet my clients' needs, because not everybody can afford LA or Orange County, and people are willing to do the drive or relocate or more importantly right now, because a lot of people work from home, now they don't have to stay in the area. What is the difference between working with me or any other realtor? First of all, I always try to understand my clients' needs and what they're looking for so that I can find the best solution for them. Try to provide solutions and alternatives to their problems and as collaborate and let them know what they can do and how we can achieve that. One of the most important things is because my background has been loans, I understand the loan industry, and I have built relationships with different lenders from over 20 years, good working relationship. But the most important thing in any profession, especially as a realtor, is that you have to be very professional on what you do. Experience is very important, but integrity. I think that's really very important to a realtor as a realtor, and that your clients know that you're always looking out for their best interest. You want to share some of the homes that I've sold in the past. People are concerned, and I've heard people say seniors are not buying. Yes, people are buying. Yes, people are selling. Yes, people are getting ready for that future retirement home. They're not there yet, but they want to have something of their own. They want to have their house paid off by the time they retire. And of course, first-time home buyers, they're excited to start, if you can't afford a home, then start with a condo, whatever makes sense for you. Young families are moving into the community. They are thriving. Young families, are moving a little bit out if they can't afford LA or Orange County. So I take them a little bit out of the area. Then, we have single dads that want a home for their kids, and they say, we're tired of living in an apartment. Now I need to get a home for my kids. I've helped single dads, single moms, the same thing. I'm a single mom, but I want a home for my kids somewhere there where they can call home, and I don't want to live in an apartment anymore. I also help people with brand new construction. This is how we started on with this client. It was lot 19. What was in lot 19? Nothing, absolutely nothing. So they chose the home what they wanted, and it was built to their specification. In this case, they had 3 kids. Well, all 3 kids wanted their own bedroom, so they have a 4-bedroom brand new home. It's an exciting part of being a real estate, helping them get what they need where they need it. One of the things that I always work with are VA clients. And these are clients that veterans that they also have to buy. So I have helped several VA veterans buy their first property, then sell it, and then buy their new property. This is one of the things I did with a VA client. Another VA client, very young man. He was 22 when I sold him his first property. So then 10 years later, he called me and he said, Alicia, I just got married and my wife wants a new home. So I was able to now sell the property that he owned that I had bought for him. And now he moved in with his wife to this new property. So these are real stories. These are people that I have helped throughout my career. Just help this family. I helped them sell their property in Pico Rivera, and they wanted to move to Whittier. So I found them this beautiful home with a swimming pool in Whittier. This is an example of how competitive the market can be. And if you have the right person, the right realtor, you can technically sell the property in one day. And that's exactly what I did with this property. Some people think that, you need to have a large home. You don't have to. Whatever works for you. This is a great starting home that I was able to sell to my client when he was a buyer, and then he decided to sell later on. So I sold that property. So a home is never too small. In this case, it was a 2-bedroom home in La Habra. very nice home, a startup home. And then you have the never too big home. This is a very nice home that I also sold in your Belinda. So where you have, the 4 bedrooms, the bath, the very nice home, very nice area with a swimming pool. So I work with different clients. Like I said, it's all going to depend on what their needs are and what they're looking for. One of the other things that I do besides residential real estate is I also help my clients in a commercial real estate. Normally, you have realtors that only do commercial or only do residential. I do both because my clients have trusted me not only with their personal residential, but now they're asking me to help them with the commercial aspect. What is commercial real estate? Commercial real estate is really multifamily units, 5 units or more in apartments. That's considered commercial, office buildings, retail shopping centers, industrial buildings, land, and special purposes real estate. So I have sold units. I've helped clients do leases on commercial buildings. I have helped clients buy and sell their businesses. So this is some of the things that I've done. I have sold land as well. So it's something that not every realtor can do, but I do it to my clients because they're the ones that are asking me for this type of help. For example, here I sold this unit on it was a beauty salon and 2 residential units in the back. This is considered a mixed use property. So I have sold mixed use properties as well. This is one of the offices that I did a lease for one of my clients. It's a very nice lease for over a 6-year term where they are starting their new business and they want to be there for a while. So I was able to negotiate the lease and make sure that the owner of the building made all the improvements so that my clients could be very happy with offices, um, conference rooms, and a big open space that they needed. But some of the current clients that that I'm working for example, I'm helping a client of mine buy apartments, 10 units or more. I also have first-time home buyers that are looking for their first home, investors that are looking to buy an investment property, and of course, mixed-use properties as well. I also have a client, for example, that is looking to lease a barber shop. He already currently has one, but his lease is coming up for renewal. So I'm helping him find a new location nearby. So these are the types of clients that I work with. These are the type of clients that I have. But like I said, what's important in a relationship between you and your clients is that trust, that they know that they can count on you. They know that you are resourceful, that you have the experience, you have the knowledge, and you have the expertise. And for that, I'm constantly taking classes in different categories so I can be better prepared for my clients and I can help them make whatever decisions they have to know. And here comes, even though I'm selling real estate, but I also have to know about credit repair. If somebody has bad credit, what can they do to help, increase that credit score? I have taken several classes on credit repairs and what it takes to get that excellent credit that you need. A lot of times that people don't consider are taxes, income taxes. If you sell a property, how much are you going to be paying to the IRS? These are general questions that people ask, and we have to know more or less what to do. Of course, I tell my clients that they have to go directly to their tax preparers, but I also take classes on that. So I am aware of what's going on, but of course I do the referrals. So it's really important in any profession that, we continue to take classes, to know what we need to get educated on what the current issues are, what's coming up, and be able to change depending on what the market is at the time. So sometimes you have a seller's market, you have to be ready for that. Sometimes you have a buyer's market, you have to be ready for that. And then working with different situations. I know I mentioned that I work with clients, first-time home buyers, but I also work with clients that are going through life-changing events. For example, people that are graduating, they might be buying their first home. So there are programs specifically targeted for those clients and how they can take advantage of the fact that you're a new recent graduate. There's programs for that, and people are not aware of it. There's city programs where some cities encourage people to go and live in their homes, and they provide grants for somebody that wants to live in that particular city. For example, I know several cities that are offering $85,000 credit. It's a grant that people can take advantage of these grants. Same thing goes with counties. Sometimes the counties have grants available. Also the state, sometimes the state has those programs and the federal government. So there's a lot of programs out there that people can take advantage of. The VA program is an excellent program. But then you have other situations. For example, if people are going, through divorce. I've dealt with couples that are going through divorce. It's a very difficult time. As a realtor, you have to be very careful how you help your clients. We're there to help them sell their property. And then, of course, a lot of times, not only are you dealing with both clients, but you may only be dealing with attorneys. So, working with different attorneys, working with your clients to do a transaction, maybe it could be their biggest financial responsibility that they have. It may be their biggest income in terms of asset, and working with them and being very clear and transparent to both parties. It is extremely important that we're professionals, and that they know that we're doing whatever it is for their best interest, and that we are impartial, and that we're going to help and do the best possible job. So these are life-changing events. Sometimes I've dealt with probates when unfortunately somebody passes away. What happens to that property? Who does it belong to? So I have represented sellers that where somebody has passed away. And then I've also represented buyers where somebody is buying a house that it's probate. So I have been on both sides of the spectrum, representing sellers and representing buyers. So at the end of the day, I consider myself a realtor that has the experience. I can negotiate and be pretty much in different situations, helping my clients. And then you have those seniors that, it might be time to retire and they want to sell their home and move out, or go into a senior community, or decide to move back with their kids. I have helped clients do that. Sometimes I help them sell into senior communities, and sometimes they want to move out of state or out of the area. And I do a lot of relocations, helping people come into the area and buy, or get out of the area into other states, other cities, and I also help them with their relocation. So it's really important to have that communication with your clients, letting them know that you're there. Any questions that they might have, they can always come and ask you, because this is what I do on a daily basis. So I'm constantly helping families, move into a property, sell, or buy. This is what I do. I have been recognized by my company as a top producer, and that's pretty much what I have for you. Are there any questions for me?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're
That was
welcome.
great. I think that there was a lot there about, what the current market is, and a lot of your successes. So it's really super exciting to see. But if we could ask a little bit, if we could get into a little bit more about, your transition from being on the software side of things to coming into the real estate career. Could you talk a little bit more about that? And, how did you come to know that that was the right move for you?
Okay, it's very personal, but as I was doing the software programming and the quality assurance, one of the things that I've noticed in is that some of the programs, a lot of people, there were over 100 programs that I was working with, but some of the programs were not necessarily um, would be benefiting the consumer. Let's put it in that aspect. And I said, if people just knew the difference between, the long term and how is it going to help you either pay off your home faster or or not be in debt or not keep that loan for such a long period of time. I thought that if I could help my clients get into a perspective where talking to them, if they were to tell me, look, I have a 30-year loan, but I wish I could pay it off, let's say in 15 years, for example. What can I do? And so that's where I came in and I said, I'm going to help those clients where if they want to pay off their home sooner, I can definitely show them different strategies that they can do. And I'm doing it from a mathematical point of view versus the mortgage industry. So I was able to, and I have been able to sit down with my clients after they buy their property and tell them, okay, these are your options. And I take the time to explain the different options that they have, what they can do, how they can do it. And then it's up to them. Some people I've had very successful stories where people, if you are very strict with your finances, if you're focused with your finances, it can be done. And a lot of people have paid off their home and 15 years, 12 years, 10 years, if they follow these financial strategies. So I think my goal was I'm going to go out there as a realtor and I am going to help people find these solutions for them. And that's how I have approached it.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's like a very people first mentality, right? And so
Yes.
that's a
It
huge shift though, right?
It was a huge shift. It was a huge shift. And that's what I realized that when I was, I loved engineering. I loved being there to find, be the first one to know what's coming up and what's new. And by the time it gets out to the market, I knew everything about it. And of course, I was the expert. But I felt that I needed that personal relationship. I felt that I needed to see that my job, whatever I did, was going to personally impact a family, a person in a positive way. That I needed. And I think when I came into real estate and I do that, the fact that I am always with people, I'm always trying to help them out, from a financial point of view, then to me that's a personal satisfaction that I have, and I really enjoy that aspect.
That's awesome. So what kind of transferable skills do you think that you still use on the day to day from either your journey in the software industry, or even, going back to when you were a student, at the
Yes.
beach?
Yes, it's so important. And I've people think that they're very different, in which they are, but one of the things that really has helped me throughout my career, and regardless whether you're doing engineering or real estate, time management. It is so important to do your time management. What really has helped me through my real estate career, that being very methodical. How do you step by step? How do you do things? When it comes to programming, you have to develop that skill. Well, it can be applied to other fields as well. So these are things that you carry on. They're not completely separate. Your organizational skills, people skills. You have to work in a team. You have to. So instead of working in a team with an engineering group, now you're working with your client. At the end of the day, it's the same, relatively the same experience: communication, responsibility, professionalism, knowledge, information, getting, keeping up with your educational skills throughout your career. So whatever career you have, it's always keeping up with what's new, what's coming, the forecast, where you're going to be. But most important, having that communication with your clients that needs to be very straightforward. And you just don't leave, just like if you were in a meeting, if somebody asks you a question, no, you're going to have a meeting next week and you're going to respond and say what you did, what problems you had, how you're going to solve them, and what you're going to do this week, following week. The same thing applies to real estate. What problems did you have, your clients, what they're looking for, if there were any problems on the way, how is it going to be solved this week as well. So those skills are there, and they're the same skills, irrelevant of what you're doing, of your, the end result, the end product.
Awesome. Yeah. And so I know that you touched on it a little bit before, but you touched on it again here. You kind of, in your industry, you necessarily have to keep up to date and keep up on the trends and keep up on just different pieces of education, right? Continuing education is a huge part of this. So how do you find those opportunities for continuing education? What resources are out there that exist for people in this field? And do you have any suggestions when you're
Yeah.
navigating that?
Yes. So of course, going back to the university, where you attended, going back to the community colleges to see what they have. I do take classes online, just to know what's going on. Attending events, there are always events, become involved with the Chamber of Commerce, where, cities that you live in. For example, I belong to one of the Chamber of Commerce, and they always have guest speakers. They invite, very important people to speak with us about the industry. Not only that, there are also networking organizations that you can belong to, several networking organizations. And the main purpose of those organizations is to learn how to become a better networker, learn how to be, have all these skills that are necessary when you're looking not only to work with other people in the industry, other realtors, but also how to treat your clients. So there are several classes that are given throughout different organizations: public speaking, time management, how to network, how to give a presentation. But these are all self classes for yourself, personal growth. And I really think that it's very important that we take advantage and we take those classes as as many times as we have to, because we all know what we're not good at. We know what we're good at, and also what we're not. And if we know that we're not good at a subject, then take some classes. Take the time to take a class, especially now that many of the classes can be taken online. Take advantage of it and just keep on learning, because you always learn so much from all these classes.
So one of the questions we have here is, what would you say is the most challenging and rewarding parts of your job?
The most challenging, that's a very good, I know the rewarding one, but let's say the most challenging. The most challenging is in its trust. Okay. Why would someone come to me to help them out versus another realtor, for example? And there's tons of realtors over everywhere. So this is where reputation is so important. So even if you're starting, and I know some of the students may be starting out, you do the best possible job, the best job on your first transaction. My mentality is if I do an excellent job with my client, that client is going to refer me to their family, to friends, to coworkers. So in this business, you really want to have that reputation of that you are the best, that you are resourceful, and that you are knowledgeable. So having that standard in your profession as a high quality, that's what's going to make the difference. And I think that's why we go back around to the education. Who are you networking with? Who are you part of? How are you improving yourself? So that's challenging because it requires time and it takes a lot of time. But if you see it as an investment in yourself, then it's really not a challenge. It's really to improve yourself and to get better at what you do. The most gratifying is when somebody calls you and says, can you help somebody that you already have done business with and says, I'm referring you to a friend, a family, a coworker, to my kids. It is so rewarding to see that, they trust in what you do and that they like the services that you provided. But also, when you give out those huge checks after they sell their properties. And not only that, they might have started in a small place, and now that whole amount, it can be, any amount, 20,000, 100,000, $500,000. It depends on the situation. But that money is going to help them move from that particular home into a nicer home. Maybe closer to work, maybe closer to family, maybe a bigger area, maybe a nicer home, whatever the situation may be with my clients. So helping them make that transition and knowing that it was through the real estate, it was through my efforts of finding them a home, finding them a place of business, and now helping see how they have succeeded. It's a very gratifying and very rewarding aspect of my job, and that's why I love it, because it's a constant reward, and then people are very grateful. And I do get a lot of small gifts from people that thank me for being there for them and for guiding them through the whole process. So I have been able to change families' lives in terms of their financials, and I have been able to help families become financially stable through real estate. Where if they had not done that, they would have been in a different situation, and they know it. So I've had people that have retired with their homes paid off, with a rental property coming in, not just one, but several rental properties under their name. So they're financially stable by the time they retire. And at the end of the day, it's changing someone's life. And these clients are now traveling around the world, don't not having to worry about any financial situations, and that's very gratifying and satisfying for me.
I mean, it's so powerful, and it sounds like there's a lot of good stuff to find in this, right?
Yes, there are. And it's really making the right moves at the right time. And I am the type of agent that if I feel that it's not the right time, I will explain it to you and I will let my clients know. At the same time, if I feel that there's a potential and there's some good programs out there, and if it's time for you to switch, I'm going to present you with that opportunity. Of course, I let the client decide whether they want to do it or not. But some of my clients have been very, very successful.
Yeah. And I think timing is definitely a big part of this industry. And so and really kind of like shifting sand. So, we're wondering, how do you cope with the changes that happen that you see in the industry with, switching over from a buyer's market to a seller's market, or right now where you're seeing, huge interest rates that are just so crazy and seem to be growing. So like how do you cope and how do how do you deal with those changes?
Yes. So it may be scary for somebody that is not in the industry that has not seen all these changes. Remember, I started in the early 2000s when the market was high, and then we had a huge drop in 2007, 2008, where a lot of people lost their homes. So it goes back to understanding your client and really knowing why are they buying? Why are they selling? So you really have to know the whole story. And yes, for example, interest rates are high right now compared to what they were. But when you look at the history of real estate, that's what, that's where education comes in. And this is what I share with my clients. So I give them a little bit of history so they know where we're at. And, I can't predict the future, but I can say based on history, this happened before. This is not new. It may be new to us, but it's not new to the industry. And
Mm,
that's how I approach it. And that's how I'm able to help clients. But it goes back to the same thing, knowledge and taking classes and knowing the different skill sets that you need, and also always keeping up with what is coming up, and making yourself available and learning different things. So, for example, if somebody has, we talked about bad credit. If somebody has bad credit, I could, I'm a resourceful in the sense that I can refer them to a company that can help them with bad credit. Or if they're okay with me, I can tell them exactly what they should be doing to improve that credit. And that's a service that I provide for free. I don't charge anything for my clients, but I have the knowledge. But if they want to go and pay a company, I have a lot of companies that I work with that would love to work with them. So not only do I have one company, I can refer them to different people. At the end of the day, is their decision who do they go with. But contrary to what people are saying that nobody's buying right now, a lot of people are still buying, a lot of people are still selling, not as much as it was before, but they're buying and they're selling. Why? Because people have life-changing events. Birth of a child, graduation from college, kids grow up and move out of the home, or now people that had kids no longer have kids, and now the house is too big, they want a smaller house, or seniors wanting to move, divorces, or people passing away. So you're always going to have the life-changing events, regardless of whether the market is a seller's market or a buyer's market. If you have to move, you have to move. I deal with a lot of people that have to move because they're being relocated for their work. So guess what? You have to sell your property and you have to go somewhere else, to another city, another state, because it's a requirement. These are the life-changing events. So yes, it's important to know what is the reason, know the history, have a lot of contacts with people that you can refer them to, and be resourceful. And at the same time, learn about what the changes that are coming and get ready for those changes, because these changes are not new. They might be new to somebody that is graduating, but they're not new to real estate. And I have been there for a long time.
that's awesome. And so I think you've talked a lot about how trust is so important, but in the field and in the industry. But how important is like mentoring or networking in the field?
I'm so glad you asked that question because it is so important. You have to, I think, in this field, this industry, you have to network, because it's very different from engineering, where you work for a company and they tell you what project you have to work. You go to work, they tell you what you have to do, and you do it and you get paid. With real estate, where are you going to find your clients? You cannot sit in your office and expect everybody to come knocking on the door for you to help them sell or buy. This is where networking is so important. And I attend networking events weekly, several, not just one, but several networking events.
Mhm.
Because in this industry, you have to be able to meet other people. and you have to, they have to know you, they have to trust you. I know that right now with social media, you have a lot of people doing social media where they get their clients, which is fine, it's great. But what's going to make you different as a realtor from somebody else? And it comes back with your networking skills, with your ability to communicate with others, with your clients, and really helping them out at the end of the day. So it's very important. I can't stress how important it is. And there's several networking organizations. I already mentioned to, Chamber of Commerce's. A lot of cities have those Chamber of Commerce, and get involved with those. And the good thing about living here is that we have so many cities. So for example, if you don't like the one that you live, go to the next one, go to the other one. We're so relatively close until you find a great chamber of commerce that you can belong to. And there's several, and there's some cities that are more active than others. And then sometimes they get together. I don't know if you're aware, but sometimes there are events where there are multi-chamber events, and you can have like 10 or 12 chamber coming together to having a networking event, and everybody from different chambers come over, and you get to meet other people. The best part about being part of those chamber events is that there's always ribbon cutting events. What does that mean? That you're going to go and meet the owners of that business. So after a while, all these business owners from different cities that are opening up their business. What a great strategy to meet other business owners and to provide your services to them. So extremely important, highly recommended. And then you have other networking events and organizations that are focused just on networking. Can I name a few?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
for example, I belong to the Santa Fe Springs Chamber of Commerce. It's a very active chamber. And then there are other surrounding chambers that I belong to, but I'm an ambassador with the chamber. So I'm at their ribbon cutting events or all of their events on a regularly. Every week we have at least 3 or 4 events going on. I also belong to another organization called BNI, Business Network International. This is a networking organization that is worldwide. You can go into any city in the world, and they're going to have this group. It is ran the same way. And the sole purpose of this organization is to refer clients to each other. So these are great organizations that people can get involved. And these are just a few. There's so many others.
Awesome. Well, we are getting close to time. So there's this question that I love to ask everyone as kind of a wrap up, which is, if you could go back to when you were graduating from CSULB and you could tell yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Okay, I love engineering, and I tell this to my daughters. Everybody should be taking business classes, okay? Self-development classes and business classes should be in everybody's curriculum. Doesn't matter what major you're going, because at the end of the day, not only is it going to help you personally, but if you ever decide to have your own business, it's going to help you so much. So I will tell myself, take business classes. Even though when you're there, you don't want to take another class. It's like another class. But I would tell that to myself, definitely. Yes. And one of the things that I learned at Cal State Long Beach, I remember taking a class that I just didn't like, and then guess what? When I ended up on one of my jobs, that's exactly the type of work that I did. So you never know what how the classes are going to help you, and they're in the system for a reason. But when you're a student, don't complain about the classes, but on the contrary, take as many classes as you can and diversify yourself. Learn about different careers, learn about what others are doing, and you take those self-improvement classes that are going to help you and are going to carry on no matter what career you decide to do. The time management, the the public speaking, the working in groups. These are very important classes that everybody should be taking, and we should all know the basics, at least the basics.
Awesome. Well, great advice. Honestly, truly, I think that this was a great chat, and I think um, for folks who are interested in the industry, whether that's on the side of it of maybe possibly being a realtor, or maybe it's folks who are interested in buying or selling or what have you. I think there's a lot of great advice here for everyone. So as we're wrapping it up, we just want to let everyone here know we thank you so much for joining us today. Like we said before, this will be available. This recording will be available in our video library that can be accessed at www.csulb.edu/alumni. But also feel free to give us a follow on any of the social media platforms that we have listed down here. So
Yeah,
that way you can keep up to date with what we're doing and be able to catch the next great industry chat. And
thank you.
Alicia,
Yes.
if folks wanted to continue the conversation with you and maybe pick your brain a little bit, how might they get in touch with you?
Yes, they can always contact me directly. LinkedIn, I really like LinkedIn. So Alicia Fombona, very simple. And or Facebook, Alicia Fombona Realtor, or the same thing on Instagram, but mainly LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you through LinkedIn. If you want to call me, reach out to me. That's a great way also. And my phone number, area code 310-386-9642. So connect with me. I would love to help you. Or if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.